For all its beauty and splendor, the wilderness can be a cruel teacher. Swimming in dangerous areas is fraught with risk. These waters, whether they are swirling with powerful currents, deep and mysterious, or home to awe-inspiring wildlife, call to the brave and the adventurous. These waters, be they riddled with treacherous currents, chilling depths, or hidden perils, do not tolerate foolishness. They are relentless teachers, offering harsh lessons on the frailty of human limits and the raw power of the untamed elements. Please click the subscribe and like buttons. This is Outdoor Disasters. The Waikato River, the longest river in New Zealand, stretches over 425 kilometers or 264 miles from its source in the volcanic central plateau of the North Island down to the Tasman Sea. This river is not only a key geographical feature of New Zealand. The Waikato River plays a crucial role in New Zealand's natural landscape and its ecosystem. It passes through various landscapes, including major towns, lush farmlands, forests, and the famous Huka Falls. The river's course is punctuated by multiple hydroelectric power stations, which are pivotal to the region's electricity generation, making it an integral component of the nation's energy infrastructure. One of the key features along the river is the Aratiatia Dam, situated a few kilometers downstream from Lake Taupo in the North Island of New Zealand. It is one of the 8 hydroelectric power stations on the Waikato River, near the tourist town of Taupo. Constructed in the late 1950s, the Aratiatia Dam was one of the early developments in New Zealand's ambitious plans to harness the hydroelectric potential of the Waikato River. This dam is instrumental in controlling the river's flow to manage flood risks and generate hydroelectric power. It is equipped with floodgates that are periodically opened to simulate the natural flow that occurred before the dam's construction. This release creates a spectacular surge of water that is a popular sight among tourists. These releases are crucial not just for power generation, but also for managing the river's ecological health by mimicking natural flooding events that help sustain the river's aquatic habitats. These water releases are a popular tourist attraction, drawing visitors to witness the transformation of a calm river into a swift, cascading torrent. The spectacle is so popular that it has been featured in tourist promotions and even in film scenes, notably in The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. At this breathtaking event, spectators experience the wild force of cascading water, along with the stunning yet perilous nature of the display. For Rachel de Jong, her Waikato River outing would be horrible. At 21 years old, Rachel Louise de Jong was about to enter her 4th and final year studying physiotherapy at Auckland University of Technology in New Zealand, a top-tier institution. In early February 2017, Rachel and her friends embarked on a road trip to Lake Tikitapu to unwind at the Floatcella concert. In this event, attendees enjoy music while floating on the lake. Rachel was accompanied by a group of female friends, including fellow physiotherapy student Maddie, her friend Gemma, and sisters Alice and Michaela. After spending a delightful day at the lake, they chose to spend the night at Maddie's family home near Taupo. Upon arrival, they met Sam, an acquaintance of Maddie's older sister, who was also staying there with his friend Reese and others. Both were policemen. The group enjoyed a relaxed after-party with drinks, mingling with their new acquaintances. After a fun-filled day, the girls were exhausted and went to bed shortly after midnight, unaware that the following day would be dreadful. On the morning of February 5th, 2017, the group awoke around 9 a.m., gathered their belongings, and set off for home. It was Waitangi Day in New Zealand, and they aimed to avoid the holiday traffic on their return to Auckland. Rachel proposed a brief detour for a swim at a scenic river spot she described as pretty. Sam and Reese joined the group for this excursion. They traveled in 3 separate vehicles and pulled over near the start of an unofficial trail leading to the river. They decided to spend some time near the Aratiatia Dam, known for its natural rock pools and formations that usually provide a safe and relaxing swimming environment when the dam gates are closed. This location is favored by both locals and tourists for its tranquil waters and beautiful views. Additionally, the spectacle of the dam opening, during which water dramatically rushes into the river, attracts visitors. A warning siren sounds 3 times before the gates open. first 5 minutes prior, then 2 minutes, and finally just before the gates are released. However, no sirens would sound if water needed to be released urgently due to unusually high water levels. Typically, a river power station would be positioned adjacent to a dam downstream at the river's lowest point. In Aratiatia, to maintain the natural scenery, the power station is situated 400 meters or 1,300 feet from the dam. Water is directed from the dam to the power station via a 10-meter wide tunnel. This setup allows for the controlled release of water several times a day, creating the illusion that there is no dam at all. This process, which involves releasing a large volume of water, is inherently hazardous, hence the need for sirens. As Rachel de Jong and her friends made their way down the trail, they heard the sirens around 11:40 a.m. but saw no signs warning them of the impending danger. The dam was scheduled to release water around noon. Rachel and Maddie, familiar with the area, led their friends through the dense foliage on a path that took about 10 minutes. The trail became steep and narrow closer to the end, requiring the group to navigate over rocks and grasp onto tree roots to reach the river. On Waitangi Day, Taupo experienced a scorching high of 33 degrees Celsius or 91 degrees. The sky was clear and blue and the river was tranquil. Unknown to them, a crucial warning sign normally placed at the trail's entrance had been stolen 2 weeks prior. Upon reaching their destination, the group is set up on a natural rock shelf by the river, which remains exposed when the dam's gates are closed but submerges during water releases. Despite hearing a distant siren during their descent, the absence of visible warning signs lulled them into a false sense of security. Everyone eagerly jumped into the river. Rachel captured the moment, filming and taking selfies with her GoPro camera. The atmosphere was serene. It was a typical outing for the group, with Rachel and friends on a mid-river rock surrounded by native bush and under a crystal clear sky, epitomizing one of New Zealand's most picturesque swimming spots. They snapped a selfie, encapsulating the joy of a summer's day on their road trip. Moments of laughter and light-hearted fun were captured on camera. But within minutes, the situation would take a dramatic turn for Rachel de Jong and her friends. Meanwhile, the gates of the Aratiatia power station upstream had started to open. On this day, the warning sign had been stolen, and the siren's sound was faint and distant. Consequently, Rachel and her friends were swimming downstream, oblivious to the impending danger. A surge of white water began spilling into the tranquil pool, creating foam that spread across the dark green surface. It was dead calm. Someone in our group, Rachel, I think, said, "We better get onto the rocks," Maddie recounted. Shortly after, a powerful flow of water rushed down the river, catching everyone by surprise. Already in the water, the group scrambled onto a rock in the middle of the river to escape the rising waters, but soon found themselves trapped. Sam and Reese had managed to climb to a higher rock, finding safety, but the girls were left stranded on a lower rock. Initially, they felt secure, but panic set in as they realized the relentless water would crest over the boulder, threatening to sweep them away. "We thought we were going to be okay on the rock, but that's when the water started coming up hard and fast," Gemma recalled. Horrified tourists on a platform overlooking the river could do nothing but watch as the water rose around them. A rapid formed around the rock and the girls started to panic. "Hey girls, that water's going to rise really fast. You need to get back to me now," Sam yelled. However, the current had become so powerful that the girls felt it was impossible to reach Sam. Their only option was to jump towards Reese, who was on the opposite side of the rock. Rachel initially tried to wade through the water but had to pull back and make a leap instead. Clutching her GoPro camera on a selfie stick, she extended it towards Reese, who grabbed it and helped pull her onto the rock where he was. Maddie followed, and Reese managed to pull her to safety as well. When Reese tried to rescue Michaela, she slipped from his grip and both were swept downstream by the river. We were separated straight away and I went under the water. It felt like a washing machine. I had no control and I was running out of breath. "I thought that was it, to be honest," Reese recalled. Michaela struggled under the water, colliding with rocks and gradually losing her breath, yet she managed to resurface. Meanwhile, as she and another fought to stay afloat downstream, Rachel and Maddie remained on the rock, trying to aid their friends as the rising water threatened to engulf them. Gemma was next to attempt the jump, nearly being swept away before Rachel and Maddie pulled her to safety. This left Alice still in peril on the rock. She leaped towards Rachel's extended hand, but at that moment, the water's force was overwhelming, and it swept both Alice and Rachel away. Gemma and Maddie left on the rock, and they could only watch helplessly as their friends were carried downriver. The water was so strong at this point, I saw Alice's head at the start and then couldn't see Rachel, Gemma said. Despite her attempts to rescue her friends, Rachel could not ensure her own safety and was carried off by the strong current. While the other three who were swept downstream survived the ordeal, Rachel tragically did not. Her body was later discovered downstream, concluding what had started as a relaxing day out with friends in a devastating manner. Waikato Regional Council, which is responsible for the dam, released a statement saying Rachel's death was a tragedy. Our thoughts remain with Rachel's family and friends. They also mentioned that they had met several times with Mercury and the Department of Conservation right after the incident to discuss improvements in safety measures to prevent future tragedies. They informed Daily Mail Australia that new safety features, including fencing and additional signs, have now been installed in the area. The steel fence in particular has made it all but impossible to access the pool. The new graphic signage has been designed to stop people from entering the water. Our staff have supported and attended school assemblies where presentations have been given to high school students talking to the dangers of swimming in the river and why Aratiatia should be avoided, a spokeswoman for the council said. Kevin de Jong, Rachel's father, viewed a distressing video captured by onlookers on the platform above the river, showing his daughter's last moments alive. The pain of losing his only daughter is acute and has been exacerbated by remarks suggesting that Rachel was to blame. These were not silly girls taking selfies, Kevin said. Kevin de Jong believes that while no one is directly at fault for his daughter's death, it is crucial that efforts are made to prevent a similar incident in the future. This isn't about blaming anybody, it's about stopping it from happening again, he stated. The warning signs that Rachel would have seen, had they not been stolen, have now been replaced. Additionally, a large steel fence now obstructs the unofficial path, and ropes that once aided in climbing the cliff have been removed. Changes that Kevin welcomes, though he remains concerned. Despite these improvements, people continue to swim in the river dangerously close to when the dam gates open. Kevin suggests that a visual check, perhaps through a permanent camera or drone, should be implemented before the water is released. This concern is echoed in the findings of Coroner Wallace Bain regarding Rachel's death. It seems to the court that even with all the steps taken subsequent to this terrible tragedy, there is still going to be a possibility that people will visit this swimming area, swim, and have no idea of what the real danger is. They are smart, intelligent young people, but in essence had no idea of what to expect, lulled into a false sense of security. He also commended the bravery of Rachel, stating, "It is clear that Rachel jumped into the water to try to help one of her party, but tragically got swept away. It is likely that, but for this brave act, she might still be with us." Rachel de Jong was exceptionally talented, both academically and athletically, and had a deep love for the outdoors, especially aquatic environments. Raised to be independent and to not be afraid of pushing boundaries, Rachel chose to remain in a dangerous situation to assist her friends. She stayed until only one was left, stranded on a rock amidst the fierce current. This act of selflessness and courage left her father, Kevin de Jong, with a mixture of profound grief and immense pride. Her brother, Daniel de Jong, expressed his admiration and sorrow with a tribute to Rachel on Facebook. "Not only was she an inspiration to us all, she was my best friend and the most perfect sister I could have ever asked for. I can't even begin to describe how much I'm going to miss you and how incredibly unfair it is that you have been taken far, far too soon. You never spoke a bad word of anyone, and you had such an infectious smile that could cheer anyone up. There are not enough words in the world I could use to describe you. I love you so much, Rachel. Rest easy." Her obituary states, "Words cannot even begin to describe how much we are going to miss you, and our hearts are breaking. You will always be with us, and your beautiful smile, adventurous spirit, your love of life, your caring nature, and sparkling eyes will never be forgotten." Diving into the unpredictable and dangerous waters is not for the faint of heart. It demands an ironclad respect for the formidable forces of nature. To swim in such places is to experience the raw power of nature, to connect deeply with the environment, and to challenge oneself in ways that the safe and familiar never can. But be warned, you're playing roulette with your life. Currents can snatch you like a rag doll, unseen hazards can snag you underwater, and unforeseen dangers lurk beneath that surface. Swimming in dangerous areas is a reckless disregard for your own safety and the well-being of those who might have to rescue you. These areas, often marked by strong currents, hidden underwater hazards, or wildlife dangers, are not adventurous playgrounds but potential death traps. It's vital to respect nature's power and the warnings that come with it. Ignorance or thrill-seeking in these environments can swiftly turn a leisure activity into a fatal tragedy. Always prioritize safety over an adrenaline rush and respect the natural environment and its inherent risks. Those who undertake these risks do so with respect for the forces of nature, armed with preparation, knowledge, and an unyielding respect for the water. It is in these moments, against the backdrop of nature's grandeur, that one finds true humility, strength, and an unparalleled sense of achievement. If you decide to take on this dangerous challenge, do it with wisdom and reverence for the formidable waters you seek to enter. Heed these words so you can avoid an outdoor disaster. Thank you for watching. Want more outdoor disaster content? Check out these stories I believe you'll enjoy.